It's very, very good. Okay, here we go. Now we are live. So hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with a special live examination of Imperial Stouts. And joining me this evening once again is the one and only Michael Komaroff. Thanks for joining me, Michael.
Thanks for inviting me, John. It's a pleasure.
All right, so why don't you show the viewers what you've got today?
Okay, this is from Stillwater Brewing, and it's called Stillwater on Fleek, and it's a collaboration with Casita Cerveza, and it's brewed in Stratford, Connecticut under contract. So Stillwater sends it there, and they contract brew it, and it's 13% alcohol. So it's a very high imperial stout as far as the ABV.
All right. Sounds
good.
And
the can is interesting. If you take a look at it, it's a colorful can.
Very, very catchy label design.
Sure.
So the one that I've got is from Terrapin Brewing out of Athens, Georgia. This is their Salted Caramel Imperial Moohoo. It is a stout brewed with chocolate and natural flavors. It is 8.5% alcohol, and it comes from their 2018 Reserve Collection. All right, so we've got some viewers already or some people commenting on the chat already. Got Craft Beer Pours. Cheers, buddy. One sip at a time. Hey, Trish. Blackheart. Man, all right.
Got some interest. Are you going to pour yours?
Yes, I just did actually. Here's the pour.
I'm going to do mine.
Very, very dark appearance. Pretty much a black appearance with about a 2-finger beige head. Hillbilly Select Reviews. Hey man, how you doing?
John, take a look at this.
Man, yours is even darker than mine. Yeah, it looks even darker than mine.
Yeah, this one is actually black. I thought it was going to be brown, but it's a very dark brown, about as dark as it can get. And it's opaque. You can't see through it with light at all. And
you can a little bit.
Maybe slightly you can, but not that much. And the head is like a very solid, little bit spongy on the top, but it's even darker than tan. What would you call this? Like mocha? Like a mocha head?
I would say like a beige color or yeah.
It's darker than, your standard tan.
Yeah.
The smell is intense.
I'll bet.
I'm getting mocha. It's funny. I said it was a mocha colored head. I'm getting a mocha smell, but the main smell is coffee. And it's interesting because there's also some licorice too in the nose. And you cannot smell the alcohol. So this could be real dangerous.
Yeah.
Wow.
So mine smells pretty good. You definitely pick up on the salted caramel and the chocolate. That smells very malty. You're getting some of the dark roasted barley malt in there, a nice bready note. But it definitely smells sweet. Not picking up on any hop aromas. So this is going to be a very malt forward stout. The coffee. Some of the coffee stuff I've had lately has a nice bitterness from the coffee that they add in there. This one's not going to be like that at all. This one's going to be really sweet. I can already tell.
The lacing on this one is intense, and every time you swirl the glass, the lacing reforms, which is the sign that this is a really good craft beer. They've done a really nice job with it. I can't wait to taste it.
Yeah, I'm ready, man. Let's get into it. Cheers.
Okay, cheers. Enjoy. Wow.
Man. This is good.
It's funny. My taste is very sweet in the initial taste, but you can't taste the alcohol. It's incredible to me that they can cover 13%. You know what this tastes like? This tastes like an Imperial Stout, but it tastes like the lower end, you know, like maybe the kind of alcohol that's in yours, 8%, 8.5%, and they're covering 5% of alcohol. That's incredible.
Right.
I'm really surprised, and it's really good.
Yeah, this one's good too. Man.
Trying to think what else I'm getting. I'm getting roasted malts, and I'm getting it's like silky smooth the way it goes down, so it's drinkable, and I don't know, it's really good.
All right. Yeah. Well, so with mine, I'm getting a lot of dark chocolate. I'm getting the caramel sweetness, kind of like a salted caramel thing. What else am I getting? I'm definitely getting the breadiness, like toasted bread from the dark roasted barley malt.
Can you taste the alcohol? Can you taste the alcohol at all?
No, it just tastes like I'm drinking like a dessert type beverage. But I mean,
wow.
With the chocolate, the caramel, I'm getting a little bit of vanilla as well. The mouthfeel is silky smooth, just like yours. And the body on this, although it is a heavier beer, it's, you know, I could just guzzle this if I wanted to. It's so sweet and tasty, and you know, I could just guzzle this right now. It's so good. No bitterness. This one's sweet all the way through. There's no hop bite on the finish to balance it out, so it's definitely malt forward from start to finish. So if you don't like that, then you might not like the stout. If you want, you know, something with a bitter finish, this is not one of those products. But it's very enjoyable. Very low carbonation. Not really picking up on any carbonation with this. But you know, I think it's great. You want to give a rating for yours, Michael? Or
yes, I'm ready. I'm going to give this a 97, and I think it's world class.
That's what I was actually going to find, 97 or 98. So I'll just go with 97. I think this one is excellent as well, and it's pretty much, yeah, I mean, we're getting up there towards world class. So Terrapin makes some great beers. You know, their main line, like some of the IPA, like the Hopsecutioner, I think is one of them, and there's a few other ones that have really good distribution. And then there's stuff like this that is not as common. You might have to live in Georgia or closer to the brewery to get this type of stuff, but I'm really just blown away by some of the beers I've had by them lately.
As this is warming, I'm getting some of the licorice now in the background, which I got a little bit on the nose. Now it didn't come through in my first couple of sips, but now there's like a background, like a black licorice, like you get if you were eating black licorice, and it's very it's a positive licorice. Now, obviously, somebody who didn't like licorice probably would find it. Maybe you wouldn't find it offensive, but maybe it wouldn't add to your liking of the beer. I like licorice, so to me, this would be it's a positive thing to have the licorice.
Right. So we've got two people watching here, and we've got a question from Trish over at One Sip at a Time, and we can both answer this. I'll let you go first. She's asking us, where did your love for craft beer start?
Okay, well, it's funny, and John can relate to this because we've done a lot of these examinations together and in a bigger group that we do. So I was somebody who did start out on macro lagers when I was in college and after. And when craft beer started, I just tried it, and I found it to be so much more refined that I got into it. And as John knows, I have very little now of the macro examples. I will if somebody has nothing else, I will. But I've even been known to have wine instead, depending on what they have. And I guess once I started tasting craft beer, I really liked it. Like the taste, all the different styles that you had access to. And stouts are some of my favorite beers now.
Yeah, same here. I love a good stout, and I'm a malt forward guy, so the stouts really fall into my wheelhouse. Of the stuff that I like to drink. I got into craft beer, Trish. I started drinking macros, and I enjoyed them. And then I think the first craft beer I ever had was a Sam Adams Boston Lager, and I really loved it. And I just wanted to try more beers that had more roasted barley malt flavor. The hops were new because with all the other macros that I had, I wasn't really getting any bitterness. So when I had the Boston Lager, that was it. I was like, all right, I got to try a lot more stuff now if this is what beer can taste like, and I never look at it.
And I think, John, we've discussed this as well. There's a certain complexity in the stouts that you don't get as much in the IPAs, which is another thing that I used to like. I still like, but it's just something where it becomes almost seasonal. You get into the fall and the winter, and you just tend to drink more, stouts, brown ales, porters, and more darker things. And I think you drink them because you like the way that malty front is and how that is in the cooler weather.
Right. Yeah, and we were talking about this before. I do like drinking stouts, obviously, when the weather's a little colder, this time of year. But I'm like you, I'll drink a stout in the middle of summer. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's not something I would drink out by the pool after I mow the grass, something like that. But you're inside in an air-conditioned environment. Who cares? You can drink a stout anytime.
We tend to throw some of those in during the summer, but we wouldn't do something like this at the beach club because when it's really hot out, something like this would be hard to appreciate. But like you're saying, if you're in an air-conditioned house, there's nothing wrong with even a very intense high alcohol stout. Wouldn't make any difference. It's not only for winter consumption.
Right. Man, okay. We've got some great people in the chat. Jada Diva Beer Reviews and Tours is watching, says hello. I've actually watched, I'm subscribed to his channel. I watched some of his beer reviews. He does a great job on his channel. So everybody out there, go check him out. And we've got Trish, One Sip at a Time, Craft Beer Pours. Aldehyde is watching, says go Fins. That's right. Go Dolphins, man. Hey, they beat the Patriots last weekend, so I'm excited. The Miami Miracle, they're calling it. So, Imperial Stouts, that's the topic for the examination.
I'm enjoying this one.
Yep. I'm really enjoying this one. We both, given ours pretty much world-class ratings. The style overall, kind of mentioned it already, but I love stouts, and the Imperial stouts for me just take it up to that next level. A good Imperial stout is just hard to beat because you get all the great flavors that you get from a regular stout, except they're intensified and you have a higher ABV. So if you like stouts, you can't go wrong with an Imperial.
This one that I'm having now, like yours, is also very low IBUs. They don't say how many IBUs there are, but there's very little hop bitterness in this at all. So I don't know.
Terrapin doesn't list the IBUs for this one, but I would guess very, very low. There is absolutely no bitterness with this one, which is fine with me, but some people might not like that. Some people might want a more balanced beer and a little bit of bitterness to balance out that malt forward presentation, but I'm okay with it.
Well, I think with this, it is so intense because of the amount of alcohol in here, and yet they've put the components together in a way that you don't taste it. So you're getting the roasted malts in the front. You're getting some of this licorice. You're getting maybe a little bit of vanilla in here too. You know, there is something that's creating the sweetness. But whatever the way they've put it together, it's amazing, because you definitely can't. This would be a beer that could definitely sneak up on you. You could tell by the taste that it's not a low alcohol beer, but you can't tell that it's a high alcohol beer.
Right. Especially, I mean, mine's 8.5%. You could, you might think there's like 5 or 6% alcohol in here, but 8.5. I mean, it's very well masked. With yours at 13%, that's got to be an awesome beer to mask that kind of alcohol. I had one not long ago that we did another stout examination, the one from the brewery out of California, their bakery, which was a coconut macaroon stout. And that one was also 13%. And it tasted, I mean, it tasted like just a normal stout. The alcohol was so well masked. And there's a lot of great high alcohol stouts out there right now, from my experience.
Well, we were talking before you went on air that Evil Twin, which is another company that's imported by the same importers that bring this in, has Even More Jesus, which is a 12% one, and that Biscotti Break variation that you had and the straight one that I had that we did in an earlier examination. Those are all, the Even More Jesus is 12. The Biscotti Break is 11.5, and those really cover the alcohol well too. So there is a similar style in the way these beers are brewed, and it's amazing that they're able to lower when you're drinking it, so it doesn't taste as high alcohol as it really is.
Right. So Jaded Diva Beer Reviews and Tours is asking the brand of that macaroon stout. It's the brewery, Jaded. Bruery. They're a brewery out of California. I think Orange Beach.
I think it's outside San Diego.
Yeah, I think you're right, Michael. Craft Beer Pour says he had a brew today called Juicy Ass IPA.
Interesting name.
Yeah. Ass IPA. That's funny. Yeah, pretty high stuff, Jaded. It was I think it was a 16 13% ABV, and it was, I think, $7 or $8 for the can.
I just discovered what the IBUs are. I did list it here. I didn't realize I had. The IBUs are 50 in mine. John?
50, wow.
Now, so the bitterness is masked as well. You can't take, it's not bitter. I'm just telling you. So if this is 50 IBUs, again, there's a difference between stout IBUs and IPA IBUs. So IPA IBUs are a more robust, stout IBUs are a more robust bitterness. The ones in IPAs are a more hoppy type bitterness. And you know all the different types. You like the you like the fruity ones more, but you're not a grapefruit fanatic, right? IPA.
Yeah, I like the Citra and the Simcoe and the Cascade. I do like the more tropical fruit, ones, the ones that impart a tropical note.
I'm writing down the 50 IBUs because I did discover it. So the IBUs in a stout, Imperial Stout especially, are the more robust kind of, I guess the hops they use to create the bitterness too. And they're using the type hops where it melds well with the malts. So I would say that my beer is a very well-balanced beer.
I would say mine is not as balanced. It's more malty, but it's still excellent.
Had you had the straight Moohoo from Terrapin as well? In other words, the one that this comes out of the series?
I think so, but it's been a couple years. It's been a few years since I've had it. And I remember it, from what I can recall, it was very similar, just a little bit more it wasn't as rich as this one.
After having this one, and I obviously, since I found the 50 IBUs in my book, I've had this at least once by myself before, and I think I've had this at a tasting before with somebody else as well. I feel really good that I'm bringing one of the cans to the Stout Fest tomorrow. One of these cans is going. That's one of my contributions.
Right. And anybody out there watching that doesn't already know, Michael is going to this thing called the Stout Fest tomorrow, where everybody brings 100 ounces of beer, these different stouts, and they all get to try a really good beer. So
going to be exciting. And the other aspect of it that's interesting, since there could be 15 to 20 people there and you can't consume 100 ounces a person, there's going to be beers left over, which we're going to get to choose by lot to take home with us. So everybody who came is going to get to also bring beer home, because it's impossible to drink that much in a short period of time.
Right.
But I'm excited, and I'll send pictures.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that. So a few more comments, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Aldehyde says, I like my stouts like I like my women, thick and creamy.
Good line. I like that.
Okay. Jaded Diva Beer Reviews says, I got to run. Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christmas to you as well, Jaded. All right. We had a great chat tonight. Thanks, everybody, for stopping in. And thank you, Michael, for joining me for this Imperial Stout examination. Hopefully we can have more during the holiday season. Absolutely. I'm always down for an examination. So this one, so Imperial Stouts, we definitely recommend them. We recommend the two that we had tonight. I would love to try the one that you had, Michael. That one sounds amazing. I'd like to try the one you have too. It sounds really good too. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And it's there. Thanks for joining me, Michael. And until next time, everybody, cheers. Everybody enjoy.